To begin with, I would like to introduce the York International team. First, we have Yoja Lee, who is the International Student Experience Coordinator, and then there's me again. Hi. By the end of this webinar, it is our hope that you will have more knowledge on the Canadian cultural norms, how to balance student life at York University in Canada, and be aware of the essential resources available to support your overall health. Now, in terms of the agenda for today, we will talk about culture and life in Canada, a few things about student life at YorkU, some resources for health wellness, and then we will end off with a Q&A session. Please remember that you are welcome to use the Q&A feature throughout the presentation as well as during the designated Q&A time. And then we will be wrapping up by sharing some upcoming York International Free-Arrival webinars and events. Let's get right into culture and life in Canada. Let's start with a few fun facts about your new home. Canada is the second largest country in the world, which means there's a lot to explore. It's made up of 10 provinces and 3 territories, each with its own unique charm. Now, when you walk around campus, you'll probably see plenty of squirrels, raccoons, and especially Canadian geese. They're practically celebrities here. But just a heads up, as tempting as it might be, it's best not to approach, feed, or chase them. Trust me, they like their space. Oh, and here's a quick quirky bit of trivia. Our national animal is the beaver. Yes, the beaver. It was officially designated back in 1975. And we're also one of the top producers of maple syrup in the world. And it shows up in everything from breakfast to desserts. If you get a chance, try the maple bacon breakfast sandwich at Tim Hortons, a very Canadian experience. Speaking of inventions, did you know the telephone was invented in Brantford, Ontario by Alexander Graham Bell? So you're already surrounded by history. Let's talk about what to expect weather-wise. If you're starting in the fall semester, you'll arrive just in time for the leaves to start changing. It's absolutely beautiful here. The temperature ranges from about 0 to 10 degrees Celsius, so it's a bit chilly, especially if you're coming from a tropical climate. You'll want to dress up in layers, things like light jackets, scarves, and closed-toe shoes or boots. Once you're bundled up, fall is an amazing time to explore Toronto. You can check out the Toronto International Film Festival, which is one of the world's biggest and most exciting film festivals. Or if you enjoy the outdoors, Toronto has tons of hiking trails that are especially stunning in autumn. And for the art lovers, there's Nuit Blanche, an online celebration of public art installation spread across the city. Now, in terms of Canadian national holidays, we have Labor Day, which falls on September 1st, and Thanksgiving, which is on October 13th. Then we have winter. It usually starts in December and runs all the way through March, and temperatures can drop to as low as minus 30 degrees. That's not a typo, minus 30 degrees. So, dressing for winter is serious business. You'll need a warm insulated coat, winter boots with good grip, gloves or mittens, a scarf and a hat, and lots of layers underneath. The photo you see on the slide gives you a great idea of people typically dress to stay warm and dry. Despite the cold, winter has its perks. You can go ice skating at Nathan Phillips Square, one of Toronto's most iconic spots, or try Winterlicious, which is sort of a food festival that runs in January and February, where you can try prefixed menus at some of Toronto's best restaurants. Trust me, it is a foodie's dream. And if you love holiday lights, you'll want to check out the Cavalcade of Lights, where downtown Toronto is completely transformed with lights, musics, and performances. Some of our Canadian winter holidays include Christmas Eve, which falls on December 24th, Christmas Day, December 25th. We have Boxing Day on December 26th, New Year's Day, which is January 1st, and Family Day, which falls on February 17th. These are great times to recharge. The university is closed on these days. After all that snow and slush, spring finally arrives. Temperatures typically range from 1 to 10 degrees Celsius. The weather is milder but still a bit unpredictable, so it's smart to keep wearing light jackets and have rain gear handy. Spring is all about flowers blooming, and if you've never seen cherry blossoms, this is your chance. Head to High Park. It's a must visit spot in Toronto around late April to early May. You might also enjoy a peaceful stroll through the Toronto Botanical Gardens or Allen Gardens, especially if you love nature and want a quiet study break. Some of the holidays in spring include Good Friday, which falls on April 18th, Easter Monday, which falls on April 21st, and Victoria Day on May 19th. Now, let's talk about everyone's favorite season, summer. During the summer months, temperatures rise to anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. And yes, it can get quite hot. This is the time to switch to shorts, t shirts, sandals, and don't forget your sunscreen. The sun can be strong and we want you to stay protected. Summer is packed with things to do. Visit the Toronto Islands, a perfect spot for beach days and picnics. You can attend one of the many cultural festivals happening all over the city. And you can also catch free outdoor movie nights at parks across Toronto. In short, summer is your time to explore, have fun, and enjoy a more relaxed vibe. The key holidays in summer include Canada Day, which is July 1st. There's lots of fireworks and celebrations. And then we have the civic holiday on August 4th. Now, adjusting to a new culture does take time. So let me share a few things you'll notice pretty quickly once you're here in Canada. Number one, Canadians are polite, like really polite. Holding doors open for others, it's just what we do. Also, we're slightly obsessed with talking about the weather. It's the go to small talk topic, partly because the weather changes so often, and partly because it brings people together in a shared experience. Another culture norm. On escalators, we stand on the right side and leave the left open for people who want to walk. It is a small thing, but it helps keeps things moving. Now, when you're eating out at restaurants, tipping is customary, usually 15 to 20% off your bill. It's not mandatory, but it is expected and appreciated. Canada also prides itself on being exclusive and welcoming, including being LGBTQ plus friendly. You'll see a lot of effort made to respect people's pronouns and identities, both on and off campus. And finally, mental health is taken seriously. It's okay to not be okay, and there are lots of resources here to support you, which we'll talk about in just a bit. Now that you know what life in Canada looks like, let's zoom in a bit. What does student life at York actually feel like? Moving to a new country and starting university is a huge transition. Your routine might shift, you may feel homesick, and that's all completely normal. To help ease this transition, make your academics a priority. They're why you're here, and you can reach out to academic advisors if you're feeling lost. But also make time to explore, relax, and have fun. One of the best ways to make new friends and feel connected is by joining student clubs and organizations. There are clubs for almost everything here: culture, academics, hobbies, even food. And if you can't find any a club of your interest in the 250 plus clubs we have, you can also start your own club. Many of us found our closest friends through these clubs, people who are also navigating life away from home. So, in many ways, you get to create a second home right here at York. While you're adjusting to university life, it is important to listen to your body and your mind. You might feel pressure to always be productive, but it's just as important to rest, recharge, and take care of your well being. Whether that means talking to someone, taking a walk, or watching your favorite Netflix show, whatever works for you. And if you ever feel like you need medical help or just want to check in with a healthcare provider, you'll be fully supported here. We'll also be diving into resources like health insurance in just a moment. Next up, we have the Office of the Ombudsperson. The Office of the Ombudsperson is a confidential, independent, and impartial resource for university community members, including the staff, students, and faculty, which offers guidance on university processes, policies, and decision making process. Here are some ways they can support you: assessing concerns and recommending resolution pathways, providing guidance on university policies and procedures, seeking clarification by gathering and analyzing information, exploring informal resolutions, coordinating with university offices to address complex concerns, referring individuals to the appropriate university office, and investigating a procedural fairness complaint, and much more. Now, this brings us to your university health insurance plan, which is otherwise known as UHIP. Now, at York, you will have access to your UHIP as well as an extended health insurance plan. UHIP covers all your basic medical costs like emergency services, doctor visits, laboratory tests, and so on. It is also important to know that it is mandatory for all international students and your dependents if you do not enroll by the deadline, there is a $500 fee. Here is an example of what the card looks like, and you can access your UHIP through your YorkQ email. In terms of the extended plan, it covers all other costs outside of UHIP, like dental visits, prescription drugs, eye care visits, etc. This comes from your student union, so your coverage information differs based on what you are enrolled as. For example, undergraduate students are covered through the York Federation of Students, which is our student union, while graduate students who are not TAs, teaching assistants, are covered through York University Graduate Student Association, and graduate students who are TAs are covered through Q3903. To know more about the coverage that applies to you, you can simply click on the links in the chat. Touching on more things about your health, we recommend that you bring any contact lenses if you wear them, any medical reports or test results that you have for previous or existing medical conditions, a list of all your current medications, and proof of any previous vaccinations. In terms of finding a provider, there is a list of preferred providers who can bill UHIP directly, which would be useful for you. We have placed the link in the chat. If you visit a provider that is not on the list, you will have to pay for the service out of pocket then and then file a claim to be reimbursed by UHIP. By now, you've learned quite a bit about life in Canada and York, but let's talk about something that is just as important: your well being. As international students, adjusting to a new environment can come with emotional and mental challenges. That's why York offers a number of services to help you take care of yourself, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Earlier, I mentioned Canada being high in awareness of mental health and well being, so it is no surprise that at York we have our very own center, the Student Counseling Health and Wellbeing Center, where you can access in person and virtual counseling, walk in appointments, and many other resources. You also have access to free confidential helplines like Guard Me and Good to Talk. These are available 24/7, so outside of regular hours. Whether you're feeling stressed, homesick, or overwhelmed, there is always someone here to talk to. Sometimes mental or physical health conditions can impact your academic preference, and that's completely understandable. That's where the Student Accessibility Service comes in. If you're eligible, they can support you with accommodations like extra time on exams, extended assignment deadlines, and note taking assistance. If this sounds like something you may benefit from, I encourage you to register early so your support can be in place from the start of the term. We've placed the link for the same in the chat. Being active is one of the best ways to stay balanced, physically and mentally. Luckily, York's athletics and recreation department makes it super accessible. For just $25 per term, you'll get full access to a fully equipped fitness center, a swimming pool, basketball, volleyball, and tennis courts, intramural leagues, and recreational clubs. And if you're not into working out, that's totally fine as well. Even attending games as a fan is a fun way to get involved and feel connected. Now, let's talk about safety because feeling safe is part of feeling at home. York has a 24/7 security team and several services in place to keep you safe, including the Safe Walk program, where trained staff can walk you to your destination on campus if you're staying on late or if it gets dark. We have emergency phones located all across campus. We also have the York Safe Together app, which is a great tool for accessing emergency services and safety alerts. Be sure to download it. Always trust your instincts. And remember, we're here to make sure your campus experience is not only fun and enriching, but also very secure. Okay, I understand. That was a lot of information. I hope you're starting to feel more confident and excited about what's ahead. We're now going to open the floor for your questions. If there's anything at all in your mind, just pop it in the Q&A box and I'll be happy to answer all your questions. So we have a question in the chat asking, can a spouse also get a gym or sports membership? I believe the $25 fee is just for the York U students, but I can place a link in the chat to the athletics and recreation, and you can contact them regarding that. I'm sure they can also get a membership, but it's just going to be a higher fee if I'm not wrong. We have another question. Where do I need to go for a health card and when can I go? Uh, Yojan, would you like to take the question about the UHIP card?
Yes, thank you. So for the university health insurance plan, if you are an undergraduate student, you will be automatically enrolled into it. You will get an email closer to the beginning of the semester, so that's around September, that first week, where in your YorkU email, myyorku.ca email, you'll get an email from I can't remember their name right now, but that you will get an email from them from the health insurance plan with your health insurance and how to log in and how to access it. But if you don't, please email us at uhip@yorku.ca and we'll one of our colleagues here at York International will help you through the process of getting it. But again, it will be at your myyorku.ca email.
Perfect. Thank you, Yojan. Um, we also have a question about is childbirth for dependent covered? I'm guessing they're asking about the health insurance again.
That is a great question, which both Patty and I don't have a lot of knowledge around. But what we can do is we can give you um, uh, the next available virtual drop-in for for the University Health Insurance Plan. You will be speaking to Natalie Rosado, who is one of our colleagues, and she oversees the University Health Insurance Plan. You'll be able to ask directly regarding that question.
Thank you, Yojin. The next question we have is, how do I register for housing? I believe York has on-campus housing options available, and I will just place a link in the chat to know more about it. All international students, all first-year incoming students are guaranteed residence on campus. So let me just find the link so I can place that in the chat for all of you.
We've already dropped the link for housing and as well as the UHIP virtual drop-in that's available this afternoon. But if you're not able to join us this afternoon, you can also join the next one. And that will be for York International Events calendar.
Thank you, Imogen. I've also placed the link for the housing services in the chat. And the next question we have is, can you please give us some information about pre-arrival? Like, what do we need to do at the airport and all? We do have the pre-arrival. Do we have it uploaded on the pre-arrival program website? Perfect. So I'm going to be placing a link to our pre-arrival program website, and we have a webinar called Arriving at the Canadian Border. You can find the recording of the webinar as well as the presentation slides on the website. Next up, we have, will there be social or academic orientation for winter intake students similar to what the fall students have this month? Absolutely. We do have winter orientation and there will be a mandatory academic orientation. The schedule for that will be given by your faculty, and once you do come in the winter, we have a bunch of welcome events, social events for you as well. The next question is, can you give some advice for choosing dorms? Uh, okay. I don't think I'm qualified enough to give advice for choosing dorms, but what I can do is recommend you some of as my what's been my personal experience and from my and knowing from around my friends who do stay on campus. I don't want to say anything wrong, so let me just cross-check about what on-campus options we do have available. But I think the deadline for choosing your own dorm has passed, if I'm not wrong, and you must have been allocated your residence building and your room numbers if you did register for on-campus housing. But let me just place a link in the chat again to the housing services.
So I just shared a Keel Residence building website where you're able to see the different buildings as well as the different complex websites. We also, earlier in the chat, we put in a housing website link. In that website, you're able to go in and look at the different options. You are actually able to see the photos of it in itself. In terms of choosing, I think it really is your personal preference. There are different styles like the suite styles or the single styles. Do you cook more, or would you like to have more access to the on-campus food available? So it really depends on your own experience or your preferences, as well as in the pre-arrival program website. The link is in the chat. If you go in there, we have recordings of our previous webinars that happened earlier this year. There's one that's called Where Do I Live? Or sorry, I just forgot the name. Living in Canada, What to Expect. In that webinar, one of our colleagues from Housing Services actually goes into detail regarding what types of housing options there are and what you get in each type of room. So I would highly recommend watching that just to inform your decision, and then being able to find what you need.
Thank you for that, Yojan. The next question we have is where could I go and when to get my student ID card? So the Vayu card is your student card. There is a website. I have put in all the steps in the chat. So first you have to apply for a Vayu card and submit an application, and then you have to get your photo approved. And once it is submitted, you need to wait for the email approval. And then the third step is getting your Vayu card. It will be added, you will have the option to add it directly to your digital wallet on your phone, and I highly recommend that since you'll be using your Vayu card to almost access everything on campus. Perfect. As we give everyone a bit of time to type in their questions, I will quickly like to go over some of our upcoming webinars. There we go. So if you enjoyed today's webinar and wanted to hear even more about your life as a York U student, I highly recommend attending a look ahead at your first year at York webinar. This webinar focuses on the academic aspect of your first year, where we will take a look at all your key deadlines as well as all the academic resources to help you thrive as a first year student. You can join us on August 13th if you don't want to miss out. Sorry, give me 1 second, my screens. Yes, I'm so sorry about that. Next up, we have orientation, which is our most exciting event. One of the best parts of my York journey. I met some of my closest friends at orientation. You cannot miss this. It's the perfect chance to meet fellow incoming international students, start building your community, learn more about all the essential resources and services York has to offer. It's fun, welcoming, and incredibly useful. The energy is amazing. Save the date definitely for Monday, August 25th, and scan the QR code on the slide and sign up now. And just to give you a little bit of what to expect at orientation, we have a video here for you.
Excited to start your adventure at York?
Join us for the International and Exchange Student Orientation and discover all the amazing opportunities waiting for you. Our orientation sessions are designed to give you a strong start, learn about the university health insurance plan, and get vital immigration information. Understanding immigration requirements and your health insurance plan can be daunting. That's why we offer you the chance to meet our advisors directly, ask questions, and get the clarity you need to focus on your studies. Worried about setting up in a new country? We've got you covered. The service fair connects you with essential service providers to help you transition smoothly into the Canadian life. Set up your bank account, choose your ideal phone plan, and discover services that support your success as a York student. To truly feel at home, you will need to explore every corner.
Get to know your new home with the guided campus tours. Discover where your classes are, explore study spots, and get insider tips from the students who know the campus best.
Need essentials? Join our shopping trip. Stock up on everything you need with transportation provided by York International. But most importantly, it's about the people you meet.
Orientation is about more than just information. It's your chance to meet fellow students and build lasting friendships. Join fun activities, share your experiences, and become part of a diverse and welcoming community. Your journey at York University starts right here. Welcome to a place where you will grow, achieve, and create unforgettable memories.
Welcome home.
That was an amazing video. Next up, here we have our events calendar where you can find not only all our upcoming events, but also our next drop-in sessions and appointments with our immigration advisors. And you can register for them directly through our calendar. I would suggest you folks bookmark it to your browsers for easy reference. If you don't want to miss out on all the fun and engaging content we post, follow us on social media to stay updated with everything York International has to offer. Before we end today's webinar, I'll take a quick look at the chat to see if there are any last-minute questions. There's a question in the chat asking if I do not have a Canadian number just yet, can I use my Indian number for the value card? Yes, you can. I did the same thing. Once you do get here, you are able to change your contact information for the value card, so you can do that. Perfect. Since we have no more questions, oh, we do have another question. When are we supposed to apply for it? I believe you're asking about the value card. You can submit your application just now, even before coming to Canada. That's actually recommended. So if you click on the link that was sent earlier in the chat for the application, it'll take you straight to that. All you need to do is click a picture of yourself with a plain background and upload it. It really takes 5 minutes, and it's recommended that you already get your value card before you even come to York. When is the deadline to apply for value card? I will just check that. But the earlier the better, I would say. Oh, it looks like they don't have a deadline stated on the website, but I would recommend you get it before the fall semester starts because you will be needing it for if you have any midterms, any exams, you do need a valid identification, and value card is one of the most accepted ones. So I would recommend getting it right now. Right now sounds fine. Um, we have another question. Could you explain about the health card again? Yes, I believe we can go back to that slide. Just give me a second. All right. So, about the UHIP card, so your University Health Insurance Plan, which is otherwise known as UHIP, if you see this picture at the very bottom, where you can see UHIP and Coven written, this is your digital health card. You can get it with your Q email. There is an email that was, I believe, posted in the chat earlier. UHIP at the email. You can reach out to that. You should receive an email from them, or they will reach out to you first initially and send you an email. But if you think that is not the case until you come and until early the first week of September, you can reach out to them and ask them for access to your health card. Now, UHIP covers all your basic medical costs like emergency services, doctor visits, laboratory tests, and so on. Now, this is the one that is mandatory for all international students to get. if you want an extended health insurance plan, which will cover more things like dental visits, prescription drugs, eye care visits, and stuff like that, you can enroll in the YFS, which is the York Federation of Students Health Plan, which is provided by our student union. I believe that should clear out some stuff, and there is a deadline to register for your UHIP, and if you do not, there will be a $500 fee, so please make sure that you do enroll before the deadline. All right, when will UHIP reach out, or by when should I send an email? When is the deadline? You should be getting an email from UHIP. At least I got mine in the mid or late August, but let me check when the deadline is.
I'll jump in really quick here. So, I shared the University Health Insurance Plan website. There is more information there, so please take some time and read through those in terms of eligibility as well as the enrollment process. If you're a full-time undergraduate student and you're enrolled in classes, then you don't have to do anything. Then you will automatically get an email from Cowan, not UHIP, but from Cowan themselves into your myyorku.ca email. So if you haven't set up your York email yet, please take this as your friendly reminder to do so. Once you have that email set up and you are enrolled full-time as an undergraduate student, then sometime end of August, beginning of September, you will get an email from Cowan with your health insurance plan, your health insurance plan card, and then instructions on how to access it and using the app. If for some reason you don't see it in September, then you are able to stop by the York International office for one of the UHIP drop-in sessions where you'll be able to speak to one of my colleagues and they'll be able to help you with that.
Thank you, Yunjin. And I just checked, the deadline to register is August 31st, 2025. So please make sure you enroll before that. Then we have another question. How can your clients connect before boarding to Canada? For example, I am from India, so can we connect with each other before? Now, this is a very nice question. I had the same question when I was starting out, and your go-to resource is Instagram. There are a bunch of Instagram accounts made for the incoming class of 2029, as well as faculty-specific accounts. So if you're from Schulich, from Osgoode, there are a bunch of accounts. One that I do know is pretty active is YorkU 2029 underscore. And then there's also YorkU underscore 2029. There's a bunch of accounts where you can introduce yourself. There's also group chats. You can request to become a part of the online group chats and already start talking to each other and making friends and build your community even before you're here. So I would say Instagram is the best resource for that. If you have any more questions, please feel free to type them in the Q&A. I have done so, but there is no such response. Can you please clarify what is being talked about here? Are you talking about the Instagram group chats or the Vayucard application, maybe? If you could just type in the chat what was being referred to so we can answer your question. Oh, you have messaged some group admins, but there was no such response. I do get that they do take some time to reply, but there are multiple accounts made, and there's one called Your Q First Years, which is very active, and the other one that I mentioned before, you can try reaching out to them. Or what I did was, I went into their followers and I saw who else is following them, because they might be new incoming first years as well, right? So then suggested that I reached out to them and I suggested that all of us, let's make a group chat. And I'm from India myself, so I wanted to meet up with some of the incoming first years at York and know what my community is gonna look like here. So I went into the following and the followers of those accounts, and then I reached out to those people because I assumed they would be incoming first years as well, right? So that did help me. All right, I believe we don't have any more questions. Okay, since we have no more questions, thank you all again for attending. Stay connected and informed, and we are looking forward to seeing you at our future webinars. Just a reminder, there is a feedback form in the email we share after the session today. Please fill it out and let us know how the session went